seconds, guys. Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to the January 27th, 2025 meeting of the Enid Metropolitan Area Planning Commission. Dalton, if you would, please.
Just start with roll call. Marvin Kusick.
Here.
Cole Ream.
Here.
Walker Henson.
Here.
Michael O'Brien.
Here.
David Trojan.
Here.
Brian Henry. Greg Hobb.
Here.
Donald Roberts.
Here.
David Henneke.
Here.
Clarence Maley.
Here.
Or
Here. Thank you, sir. We have a quorum, so I hereby call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Minutes have, if I don't lose my voice, excuse me. I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Well, I don't know if I'm going to make this next one. I'll try.
You want me to?
If you would, please.
Next item on the agenda is 3.1 zoning. Hold a public hearing and consider a request to rezone the area described as East Park Edition, Block 6, lots 1 through 12 and lots 15 through 28, Blocks 7 and 8, Blocks 13 and 15, Blocks 16 through 18, Blocks 21 through 32, Southern Heights Edition, Blocks 6 and 7, Block 8, lots 1 through 12, Block 9, lots 1 through 12, Southern Heights 2nd Edition, Block 8, lots 13 through 20, Block 9, lots 15 through 24, Block 10, lots 1 through 10, lots 15 through 24, Blocks 11 and 12, Block 13, lots 3 through 10, and lots 15 through 24, Block 14, lots 1 through 10, and lots 15 through 24, Block 15, lots 13 through 24, Block 16, Block 17, lots 1 through 5, and lots 15 through 24, Block 18, lots 1 through 10, Block 19, lots 1 through 12, Rock Island Heights Edition, Block 1, Block 6, Block 7, Block 12, Block 13, lots 3 through 4, and Block 18, from R2 Residential Single Family District to R4 Residential Two Family Duplex, and make a recommendation to the Mayor and Board of Commissioners. I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Cole. And I'll turn it over to Scott.
Well done, Cole. Hey, before we get started, I thought I'd take 1 minute and introduce the group to Jacqueline Porter. She's our new Community Development Director. She has got several years of experience in municipal government. She's a master's degree graduate from the University of Oklahoma, and we're very excited to have her on the team. She's going to be very helpful. So she's going to present a few items tonight. And then to those in the community with developments going forward, Jackie will be your point of contact and be doing these meetings. So on this rezoning, I'll do I won't make it quick, but I'll try to explain it really well since it is a hearing. There might be some people in the audience tonight that would wish to talk on this or ask some questions. And so I'll start with the why. Why are we rezoning this enormous area? It's about 21 blocks. And really the idea came about, this is the same exact area that we have talked about in the past when we considered the Southern Heights Residential Manufactured Home Overlay District. So we've talked about this exact area before. And during that process of talking about the residential manufactured homes, at a few of the town hall meetings that we had, the question came up about duplexes. And Commissioner Norwood at a couple of the meetings said, hey, is there anyone that would be interested in rezoning any of this for duplexes? And a lot of hands went up. And so that started us along on this process of, is this something that we want to do? Another question to answer of why would we be doing a mass rezoning like this is because since the area is primarily zoned R2, we didn't want there to be individual little spot zonings of R4 across the neighborhood. And since there's already adjoining R4 to the west, this is a good way to do a big rezoning without getting into any type of spot zoning. So I will go ahead and go through the presentation and hopefully answer all the questions that people have. First off, all of that you read, Cole, all of those lots and blocks from the 4 different platted neighborhoods in this area, really the boundaries are State on the north, 3rd Street on the west, 7th Street on the east, and on the south it's bordered by France. So that green area there, that's the area that we're discussing tonight. The current zoning, you would notice that as you read that description, we left out certain lots and blocks. So you can see the special use zoning right there in pink. That is Booker T. Washington and Carver Elementary. There's a little bit of commercial right here, a little bit of commercial, and then there's some R7 right here. So we're not trying to rezone anything except for the R2 lots. If it's zoned commercial or special use or R7, we're not proposing any changes with zoning. The surrounding zoning, just so you have a little bit bigger picture, on the west side of 3rd Street is already zoned R4. And west of that, west of 2nd, it's industrially zoned. There's some commercial above State to the north. Gives you an idea of kind of what's in the area. And we always want to look at the comp plan when we talk about zoning changes. And we did look at the Envision Enid comprehensive plan. And it actually shows this area highlighted right here as a redeveloping neighborhood. And I'm going to go ahead and read this. It might be hard for you to read. Redeveloping neighborhoods are also predominantly residential, but should be targeted for special reinvestment efforts in order to correct for a previous pattern of disinvestment. By reinvesting in these areas, Enid is able to fully leverage its existing infrastructure and ensure a complete and even development pattern. So I think that's the theme of the rezoning to R4. Recently, the city of Enid, within the last few years, has gone down Leona Mitchell. We spent about $1.8 million making an improved water main. We made some lateral water mains and connections and replaced every water meter in this neighborhood. So there's certainly the water infrastructure set in place for development. There's, in East Park especially, the city of Enid has in the last few years done a lot of repaving on some streets, and there's a lot of vacant lots here. And so that's one reason it was identified for the residential manufactured house overlay district, and one reason why making it R4 for duplex could be a really good idea, given the current costs for new construction. It might be more feasible for homeowners wanting to build on, or for developers to build a duplex and perhaps live in one side, rent out the other. There's just way more flexibility and options in building duplexes. So I'd like to just cover that right now. What is R2? What is R4? And R2 is for single-family homes only. And you can see what the permitted uses in this are. They're listed as group homes with up to 5 residents, home occupations, and you can do a public park or playground, one-family dwellings. R4 is a residential duplex or 2-family district. So I highlighted the key differences in between these two. You can still build just a single-family home. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of R4 scattered throughout Enid where there's just a single-family home on the lot. So I highlighted the key differences because of larger lot sizes and duplexes. The group homes could be possibly bigger. That's highlighted there, up to 10 residents. And there's a possibility of a living quarters above a private garage where it's an accessory building. That's been on our ordinance for a long time, and it's only allowed in R4. And then simply put, you can build a duplex, 1 and 2 family dwellings. So those are the key differences right there. They're highlighted. Everything else is the same. All of the use by reviews are exactly the same. The key difference really in area regulations, all of the setbacks are the same, but in R2, you need to have at least 6,000 square feet of property to build a single-family house. In the R4 zoning, you need to have at least 7,000 square feet for a duplex. It gives a little bit more space to make you feel like people aren't crowding all around you. You're going to need another driveway. You've got, 2 families living there, so that's what our ordinance is, 7,000 square feet needed if you want to build the duplex. And this is just a reminder. I'm not going to read it to you. You've already seen this, but it's just a reminder of what's already in there, and that is the manufactured housing overlay district. There's no proposed changes to this tonight. I just wanted to have this in here as a refresher that you can do a residential manufactured home as long as they meet all of these design criteria that are on the screen. You've seen this before, so I'm not going to read through it. But that's what we're trying to do. That was the point, is rezone these, allow for more flexibility. And like, we had a town hall last Friday night, and there was really good attendance at the town hall. And I reminded that group, R4 is not for multifamily. This will not allow apartment complexes to be built. It will not allow commercial to be built. It just is expanding the option and giving the flexibility that if you want a duplex on your property and you have the space, you can do it. If you don't want it, you don't have to build it. So that's pretty much the presentation. I don't know if you have any questions I can answer. I'll try to answer those first, and then we might open it up for a hearing.
At the town hall meeting, were you open to some of the residents to discuss and talk about those issues at the town hall?
Yes, we had quite an outpouring, I think. We had
Good participation?
We had good participation. We talked this through for about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. And there were a lot of people in support, and there were a few people with some concerns and questions, not wanting to have any neighbors next to them. And people are in control of their own vacant lots. But there are a lot of vacant lots owned by people who don't currently live in Enid, so maybe there's some questions there, but some of the same people that were at the town hall are here, so I'm not going to speak for them. It's a hearing. If anyone would like to talk, or if there's any more questions, I'd love to answer them. Okay, this is a hearing. I don't know if there's anyone that signed up for this, but
I do have 2 names. Excuse me. Let me put my glasses on, I'm sorry. Theotis and Betty. If you would, please state your name.
I'm Betty Harrison Littlepage,
Okay.
and I live at, our address for Enid is 409 East Wabash, and that's a concern because that's our family home. Wabash is our family street. So I was just wanting to know and understand the rezoning. You talked about rezoning. So are you rezoning so that individuals could just redo their homes or do their property? Is that what we're rezoning for?
Sure, I'm going to just join you up here because we're
That's
recording
fine.
this. So the purpose of the rezoning is really kind of twofold. It's so that anyone that currently owns a property or a vacant lot, right now, if you want to redo your house, we don't have to redo the zoning. But if you decided that you wanted to build a duplex onto it or have a vacant lot, we're giving you the ability to, instead of coming back and asking for your own rezoning, you can just go ahead and do it and not have to pay any fees, not have to go through this process on your own. It will already be done. So if you don't want a duplex, don't build a duplex.
Okay. But build whatever I want on my lot.
You can do, I can go back to those uses. You can build the single-family house, or you could build a duplex. You can build a public park. there's not much more that you can do with this property without rezoning.
Okay. Okay. So rezoning is more of a help than a hinder.
That is open for discussion. I believe in this instance, we're not allowing for apartment complexes or commercial to be right next to you. It's just if there are some people, whether they be developers or just people who own homes in the neighborhood or empty lots, have the ability to either do a house or a duplex.
Okay. All right. That was my concern.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Second name?
Okay. Commissioners?
I think that was her
Yeah.
husband, maybe her husband or brother or somebody.
What's the same
Hearing, you
name?
don't have to sign up.
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you all for having us here. Being the commissioner of this ward, I felt that it was important that I come here tonight. We did have a town hall meeting. In fact, it was last Friday evening, and it's the third one that we've had. And this here rezoning would bring value and opportunity to the community. The area has been blighted for a long time. As a city commissioner, we were blessed with an opportunity to be able to take out a loan from the Oklahoma Water Resource Board of $4 million. We only used about 2.1 million of that, and the rest of it, we shared it with Ward 3. And at that time, that was Commissioner Keith Saragusa. So it has really enhanced opportunity in the area. I believe the insurance companies and the fire department is great about what we've done, because now we have 1,200 gallons of water per minute rather than 400, so our houses won't burn down. And the way the area is right now, in that area, there's a lot of vacancy. There's a lot of land that's uninhabited, and what we want to do is revitalize the area and give opportunity of generational wealth to families. I have an aunt that's living in a house that I grew up in. She don't have to pay to live there. She just pays property taxes and utilities, and she has money. She's not broke. So it's a great thing. And I'd just like to say that as a commissioner, I would never do anything to jeopardize my ward or any part of the city of Enid. So this is a great thing, and it's something that we're looking forward to. We have investors that are coming to Enid to help us revitalize that land. My father is the pastor of Westside Church of God in Christ. We have an umbrella LLC, which is Westside Ministries, and we're looking at maybe 4 to 6 houses the first time. And then also my dad, he would like to build some duplexes for the elderly and make them all ADA accessible. So it's time to bring value back to the land, because if we don't, guess what? You can't achieve or receive anything from nothing. So it's time to do something. We've been mowing that land, keeping that land for a long time, but it's time to do something so that we can create opportunity and economic stability in that area, because it's a true fact that your weakest link, that's your strength. It's been weak for a long time, and it's time for us to strengthen that area and all of Enid. And not only does R4 just pertains to that area, it's all over Enid. We have R4 zoning all over Enid. So we've invested in that land. This is something that we've been working on for about 12 years, and it's time to do something, and I will end it with this. We went down to OFA, to the Oklahoma Financial Housing Authority. They looked at the area. They said, man, this is a great opportunity. We have a builder, Lance Wendell, down in Oklahoma City with the housing factory, and he's ready to go. So we're ready to invest, and we're ready to bring the area back and make it look more modernized. We want to bring some beautification to Enid, and like I said, create some wealth in Enid. Thank you for having me. You have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Dalton, did you get the second?
No, who was the first? Okay, and then who was the second?
Five people.
Everybody. Slow reflexes.
It is unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, well, if I think I can make the next one, so we'll see. All right. Item 4.1 is to consider approval of the preliminary plat for Stanley's Addition located in part of the southwest quarter of Section 25, Township 23 North, Range 7 west of the Indian Meridian, Garfield County, Oklahoma. Up to you.
All right. Good evening, Commissioners. Jacqueline Porter, Community Development Director. I'm going to present the preliminary and final plat together since they're the same, but you will have to take two motions.
Okay.
So, all right, so as mentioned, it's preliminary and final plat known as Stanley's Addition at 2314 West Colorado Avenue. So the subdivision to the north is known as Northmark Estates, and it is zoned R3. It is the mobile home neighborhood district with a PUD, and Starview subdivision is located to the south of the subject property and is zoned agriculture. The subject property recently was rezoned, I believe y'all had that last time, to R2 to allow for this split. So, let's see. Yes, here we go. The applicant is proposing to subdivide the subject property to 5 single-family lots. Lots 1 through 4, yeah, here we go. 1 through 4 are roughly half an acre in size, and then we have lot 5 over here with a little panhandle that is roughly 1.59 acres. The existing infrastructure, roads, water, and sewer are adequate to support the subdivision of the subject property. This plat does not require any improvements, hence why the final plat is also on this agenda. And here's the final plat. Are there any questions for staff at this time?
No questions?
Move the adoption. It's preliminary.
Okay.
Preliminary.
Okay. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the preliminary plat. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Those opposed? And that's unanimous. Okay, and you just want to go ahead and go to the second one? Okay.
Renew it.
Okay. So I need a second for the, or how do you want it?
Do you need to state that we're gonna do the approval?
Okay.
You might, I don't know.
I can do that, okay. So I need the approval for the final plat.
So moved.
So moved, okay. A second? Second. I have a motion and a second for the final plat of Stanley's Addition. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I have a lot split on item 5.1. Consider approval of a lot split application submitted by Michael Ransom for the property located at 1614 West Willow Road. Scott?
All right, the applicant is here tonight, so I'll take you through this process and let you ask any questions of him, and we'll move forward. So this is the area we're talking about. It's directly on Willow Road, across the street from Votech. And this property consists of, it's got a car wash on the south portion of the property, and it's got storage on the north side of the property. It was bought this way. I don't know when it was separated from the property to the left of it. But currently it does have access to water, sewer, and street, and the zoning is C1. I've got some surveys, and you should have the survey in your packet, but what he would like to do is this yellow part right here, he would like to separate that and make a lot split so that this portion and this portion are separate. The Board of Adjustment saw that and granted a variance to him on November the 12th. The reason it needed to go to Board of adjustment and get a variance is that in C1 property, the frontage of property must be 100 feet. And in this proposal, the parent lot after it would be split would be 61 feet. And so it would be non-conforming. So that's why it needs a variance. So he was granted a variance on that pending the lot split approval from this board.
Why?
I will let him come up to the podium and speak.
What's the game plan?
You do have to meet hardship with the Board of Adjustment, and they thought that he met the hardship, but I'll let the applicant come forward and speak.
Hi, my name's Michael Ransom. I'm the applicant. What was your question, sir?
Why, what's your intended reason, purpose? Why do you need to split it off?
So I purchased the parcel in question about 15 months ago. The self-storage facility and that business operation, very, very different than the car wash operation. And right now they're on the same parcel, so they're being taxed for property taxes as one parcel. And so unfortunately, that's causing some hardship in that your operations, your revenue streams are completely different for the car wash than they are with self-storage. And so my thought process was, really when this was developed back, I think it was probably 2000, 2001, it really should have been split off at that point because they're just two completely separate businesses. It was not done that way. And so to me, going forward as the business owner, it only makes sense from a tax perspective to have those as two separate businesses on two separate parcels. In the future, if I decided that I wanted to sell one of those businesses, I really can't do that at this point. As a matter of fact, I tried to do that when I purchased them, and I could not because they were on the same parcel. So for me, it's just a matter of doing, I think, what's right from a business perspective. I own 8 other storage facilities in the Oklahoma area, and none of those have other businesses on the exact same parcel. They're all separate, distinct tax parcels. And so that was a thought process there. And that's
You
the
just
hard.
need the flexibility in case you want to divest yourself of that frontal tract.
Yes, sir.
Sell it, keep the back part.
Yes, sir. And
Assessor will go ahead and assess 2 different tracts and be taxed separately, convenient for you, and
Yep.
again, makes more flexible for you.
a lot more flexible right now, and I've had the discussion with the assessor on multiple occasions. It's a little unfortunate because given the businesses are very, very different, the revenue is quite different from one to the other. They're not equivalent in any way, shape, or form. One of them brings in significantly more revenue, and my thinking is, as a result, that should probably be taken into account from a property tax perspective, and heretofore, it has not been. So it's just one parcel with, one tax bill.
And the Board of Adjustment, they went in and approved because you don't have the 100 feet over there, so they're okay with that?
They're okay with that. Both parcels would have availability for water and sewer. Currently, the car wash facility, obviously they use water, but the storage facility doesn't have any office. It just has the storage, so they're not utilizing utilities, but it is available to them. Although they would have to remove quite a bit of concrete to get those pipes in, but it's available.
The access will be handled how? You'll retain,
Yes,
We've prepared cross-access easement, which would basically be the 61 feet of width through there. The whole thing would become a cross-access easement to the back track. Does that make sense? so that there's full access to the car wash, to the storage place. Instead of trying to put a 20-foot strip for access, we just made the whole 61-plus feet access to that back track. So there's full access, and like Scott said, would give full access to utilities if they ever wanted to. I mean, if somebody tore the rental place down and wanted to put up something back there, they would gain that utility access. But to answer your question, full access through that cross-access easement, which would be attached to both properties. And then if that front property was sold, that cross-access would still be in place for access to.
And you may not be able to tell from this aerial picture, but the access as it exists right now is on the east side of that yellow box. That's where the access is anyway. You can see there's a little opening in between the two buildings on the far right side. That is the only access. That's the gate opening to the storage facility. So 100% of the time, that everybody goes right through there where we've created the public access easement.
I got a question, just truly out of curiosity, has nothing to really do with my opinion. But that eastern yellow line, if there's a fence built there, how tight does it become for cars using the car wash? They come in there from the south and they turn into the bay. The eastern yellow line that runs north and south, if there's a fence there.
Can't be a fence there, not with the cross-access easement.
Not with this easement.
Okay.
They've got to allow
Okay.
access. That's the whole.
So there
That
will
runs with
be,
the land, and so you can't ever.
there'll be room to turn and maneuver into
They
the
could
bay.
never cut off access.
There you go.
So nothing would change from what it is right now?
And right now, that's the same owner, but it would probably be important to file that with the deeds in case, or at the time there is an ownership change, you would need to have that in place.
That's kind of where I was headed. How tight does that get? But, okay.
And I would surmise that probably not only are they going to need to be taxed different, I'm assuming that the insurance for both facilities are probably quite different, and this would help facilitate not only your liability insurance, but the hazard insurance by having them split, correct?
Correct, 100% correct.
I'm curious, what's the tax differential or tax savings from this step? I mean, it surprises me the assessor would value them that differently.
I honestly don't know the answer to your question. I don't think there is going to be any tax savings. I think it's going to be reapportioned and reassessed more appropriately to what the current revenue streams are. I don't think there'll be any tax savings. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't believe there's any tax.
So instead of it being like 50-50, now it might be 75-25,
Absolutely. That's what I'm
which makes
expecting.
more sense to your accountant.
Yes, and again, that question was brought up before at the Board of Variance meeting, and I'm like, I don't foresee there to be any tax savings here whatsoever. I'm just trying to get it apportioned, I think, correctly the way it really should be, and right now, it's just one tax bill, and so then, 50% goes to one and 50% to the other, which is really not the best way to do it, given that the revenue on one of them is about 1/3 of what the other one is.
I'd move to approve the lot split.
I would second that.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve the lot split of the application submitted by Michael Ransom for the property located at 1614 West Willow Road. All those in favor, aye?
Let me just add one more thing to my motion. As long as, and condition upon having the cross easement that you've talked about for use for the back property. I don't know if we can
Okay.
throw that into the motion, but I think that's important that everybody understands.
You're gonna
that's
need to
not
remove,
part of it.
you're gonna need to do,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. We need to rescind that and revote on it with his addition, with the amendment. Okay. So you've heard the amendment. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries unanimously.
Do we have a second on your, a second one?
We did not.
Second.
But he has okay, he seconded originally, he seconded it again, so,
We don't need to vote to rescind and then.
yeah. Okay, are we good? Everybody good with that? All right. See if we can make this last one work better.
I'm good with it. We'll do. Great first meeting, guys.
You think I can nail this one? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Everybody wanted to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion is second to adjourn. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Those opposed? And we are adjourned.